This is my second job in games, professionally. So I did a video games degree at university where I did a bit of game design, a bit of programming, but also some 3D art, 2D art. I did most of my projects were just make a whole game, but either by yourself or in a team. I did that course. I did quite well, but I got my first job in London as a junior product owner, which is essentially a producer. It's just you write the Jira tickets based on the feedback you get from your leads and support the team. And that, over time, morphed into producer there, and then ended up leaving there and coming here. And I've been in the industry for 5 years now.
So my route is really convoluted. So I didn't do anything games related in my undergraduate. My undergraduate degree was in history. I watched a live stream of like getting to games, like how you could actually make this like a job, and it was like a really big like pivot for me. Like it was a real like conscious decision where I was like, I think I'm actually gonna like make this happen. Yeah. And I saw a trailer for Escape Studios, and they said that it was like 92% of our graduates are in industry within 9 months. And I was like, that's a fantastic number. I will do it. And I like spoke to my family and friends and stuff, and I was like, I think this is like what I should do. And I did. So I joined the February cohort in 2021. Did the year, and then at the end of March, I got offered my job here.
Well, I was a brand graphic designer for design agencies for 8 years. I did do animation illustration at uni because I initially wanted to be a concept artist. But I found out that I'm not very good at drawing. So, no, I mean, I was okay, but I think it kind of was a good sort of blessing in disguise, I guess, that I fell into the graphic design route, because when I was at university, I just kind of, my first job was a web designer. And that's kind of where I first stumbled upon UI UX. And I didn't even realize that it existed in the game industry until, I guess it's fairly recent as well, like as a whole anyway, because usually like UI UX is 2D art, technically. But I've always kind of wanted to do full circle. So it's similar to you, like I kind of tried to hone my skills like as much as I can on 3D and, you know, animation and stuff like that, because I knew that eventually if I wanted to, if I found the right job, which I have, then I would have the skills for that. So it's always like I guess a long-term end game goal to be in the game industry. It just so happened that I had like an 8-year detour, but here we are. So yeah, it's me.
Yeah, my story has kind of a similar note to yours, Emily, where for me as well, I had that moment. It was quite earlier in my life. I think it was about when I was like in middle school, where I got that moment where I was like, oh, wait a minute, you can program video games, like you can be the one, like there's actually someone that as a job does that, right? And it's like, oh man, I want to do that. So I was set on like that mindset from the beginning, and that's why I took computer science as my university course, which of course it wasn't anything like gaming specific, but also in my area, in my university, there wasn't any course like that. But I'm quite happy about having done just normal computer science, because it kind of gives you like a broad understanding of computer computation as well, and then just by passion and self-interest, I started developing like little small mobile games and indie games, and just really like just making personal projects, and I just started kind of doing stuff for myself. That was all throughout basically my studies, and then when I went to university, I also got a job using Unity, but not really in the game industry. It was more business to business, making virtual reality simulation, but it still helped. And of course, having the knowledge in virtual reality helped me quite a bit, landing the job at XR Games. But that's kind of how I got into it. It was that moment of like, oh wait, I can do this for a living. That's what I want to do. And really like I planned my studies in doing what I love.
My experience in the gaming industry differs a little bit. I didn't have any prior experience or any education to do in gaming. I came from my A-levels and I went straight into just a generic retail job. Really wasn't what I thought they would be. I thought selling games, working at game would be more like I could share my enthusiasm about the games it is that I'm selling and everything like that, and get excited with the customers, but it wasn't quite as much like that. It was more retail based. So I started looking online. I looked on LinkedIn at first to see if there were any additional places that I could go to, or what it was that I could move into the gaming industry with very sort of like limited knowledge and work experience. I applied for several different places, and XR Games was the first place to get back to me about it. I had a couple of interviews, and then I got the job.
Oh, cool.
And you find a lot of passionate people here.
Yeah.
I think that's what really like connects us all. Is like
Oh,
just the
absolutely.
passion of games. It's just,
Absolutely. Like, I think
Yeah.
it's of all the places I've worked at, XR is the most enthusiastically really like games.